Dave Simon and his co-hosts are completing the remaining finishing touches for tonight's episode. If you are watching the replay, you can skip to the 4-minute and 54-second mark to get to Dave's intro. While you are waiting, watching live, take a look at the news and articles about pro wrestling and MMA from The Authority, the Ringside Report Network. Our website is at ringsidereport.net. That's ringsidereport.net.
Please wait. Hold on. Keep waiting. Almost done. 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 Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Please wait. Hold on. Keep waiting. Almost done. 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 Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment.
Welcome to today's broadcast from the Ringside Report Network. We are a viewer and listener-supported creative team. We would really appreciate it if you became a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. While you are waiting, watching live, take a look at the news and articles about pro wrestling and MMA, and while there, check out our exclusive merch, including great jiu-jitsu gear from the Ringside Report Network. Our website is at ringsidereport.net. It's ringsidereport.net.
Subscriber is speaking at the moment.
Yes, indeed, it's Wrestling Uncensored. It's WrestleMania weekend. It's our WrestleMania preview show. Shall we preview WrestleMania? Bum, ba, 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 da, da, da.
Hey!
Oh, wait a second. Let's do that again. Hey!
Hey! Yes, boy!
Yes, boy.
Not a lot of that tonight.
No.
Unfortunately.
They were there, but
Oh, that was a disappointing WrestleMania appearance. I don't know about you guys. Like, we went from getting a title shot at Mania to, what was that, like 2 minutes in that Battle Royal? Rough.
yeah.
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 Unceremoniously dumped out.
Yeah. Pretty Deadly got like nothing. A couple weeks ago, it looked like they were maybe headed towards a tag team title match and maybe a 4-way at WrestleMania, and then I guess it didn't work out. Somebody didn't like them.
Yeah, they're out
And
of the
now they
picture.
were in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal tonight. They didn't win, obviously, and they got tossed out pretty early at the same time. And now they're not even in the TLC match next week on SmackDown for the tag titles because it's Street Profits defending against DIY and Motor City Machine Guns with Pretty Deadly like not even involved. So they got demoted big time over the past few weeks. Disappointing for me. I know you don't care, John, but I'm disappointed. We're disappointed.
I'm disappointed.
Well, I feel sorry for you guys. Let's go there. Like,
Thank you, John.
It's too
Thanks,
bad.
John.
I appreciate your sympathies.
Yeah, we appreciate it over here. But yeah, Pretty Deadly, life goes on. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think we'll survive. We'll survive without Pretty Deadly being the top tag team in the world. I think we'll be A-okay. But they were in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal that was won by Carmelo Hayes.
I guess you don't like that? I guess you're not a fan of that? I didn't mind it, to be honest. It was kind of nice, something different.
Yeah, I don't know. When it was down to Shinsuke Nakamura, Andrade,
Ray Phoenix?
and Carmelo, I thought any of those other guys would have been better.
I mean, you got to think, where are they going with this? Like, with Phoenix, he just came in. I mean, that'd be nice, right? But I wasn't surprised that he didn't win. I thought he'd actually be the second to last to be eliminated. But, I mean, I think it's fine the way they did that. It kind of built up Gable's gimmick as well.
Yes.
His elimination. So, I thought that was fine. And Andrade, like, you just have to face it. Like, they'll use him, they'll showcase him, but he's not one of their top guys.
Yeah, it's weird. They brought him back. They fire him. He goes to AEW. He's there for a couple of years. He comes back, and they've really done nothing with him. He's in the Andre Battle Royal tonight. He's in there at the end with Carmelo. I thought at that point that Andrade would probably win because they were going to give him something because he's been given nothing since he's come back. He's come back to the WWE, and you kind of go, why did they even sign this guy? He's just there. He wrestles once in a while. They have nothing for him. He's not involved in anything creatively. He just exists on SmackDown. And you see him sometimes. And his role tonight was an example of that. It's like, well, he's one of the final two in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. No one will remember that. I mean, people will barely remember that Carmelo Hayes won the thing tonight. This was a match that used to be at WrestleMania, and now it's just on the SmackDown before Mania. Whatever. It doesn't really matter who won the Andre, but Carmelo Hayes won it. I was just a little surprised, but clearly they have something for him. They like this guy. They're doing all sorts of stuff with him. He's got a tag team with The Miz. The Miz was in this match. R-Truth and Carlito were in this match. Santos Escobar, Berto, Angel Garza, Ray Phoenix, Karrion Kross, Ludwig Kaiser, Akira Tozawa, Otis, Tyler Bate, Chad Gable was in this match. Not El Grande Americano, although he did eliminate Ray Phoenix. He did attack Ray Phoenix and eliminate him when he showed up later after Gable had been eliminated. The Creed brothers, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, Joaquin Wilde, Pete Dunne, Nakamura, Andrade, Carmelo, Cruz del Toro were all in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I may have missed one or two, but I'm pretty sure I counted them all and saw them all. A bunch of them. A bunch of guys in there. A lot of fun eliminations. Andrade took a nice bump on his elimination at the end. A couple guys took some nice bumps in that match, to get tossed over the top. Look, for them, a lot of these guys in this match know that if they're in this match, they're not top players. They're in the Andre Battle Royal. They've got to do something. They've got to impress. So when they get eliminated, they better get eliminated impressively. They got to do something. So we saw some bumps. Because this is kind of a big match. This is the WrestleMania for these guys. This is their WrestleMania match. They're not getting a match tomorrow or the next day. This is it for Santos Escobar or Ludwig Kaiser. These are good wrestlers, but this is all they get. Not everybody gets to be on the big show, which is fine by me. I'm okay with that.
And both nights don't have to be like 7 hours long.
Correct.
Again, we're on night one of a 4-night buy one, get one free extravaganza here. It's just starting here, so I remember that. And I like what commentary said, though. They said this is the whole, we were on WrestleMania. We want to prove it that we should have been on WrestleMania by winning this. I like they kind of throw that out there.
I suppose there's something to that. Maybe next year Carmelo will be on WrestleMania. Shout out to some of the members in the chat watching on YouTube, seeing Leor, Doug Hepburn, CSL, Lauren, Jason Pete. Shout out to everybody checking us out live here, supporting over at join.ringsidereport.net or donate.ringsidereport.net, membership.ringsidereport.net. You can go buy the shirt that Johnny's wearing right now over at merch.ringsidereport.net. So many ways to support the Ringside Report Network. You can like and subscribe to this video as well. We do appreciate all the subscribers everywhere watching on Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, and all the platforms that the Ringside Report Network is on here. We've got a big WrestleMania weekend for you. We're going to preview both nights of WrestleMania here tonight, and we'll be on after both nights of WrestleMania to recap the action. We'll be on after Mania tomorrow night, and then after night 2 on Sunday. So a big weekend here for the Ringside Report Network. It's WrestleMania, baby. It happens once a year. It is the biggest wrestling show of the year.
Granddaddy of them all.
It is. So many people showing up. So many big superstars. You just saw what, John? What did you see? Johnny
Ryan Katz wrote. He made a good point, and they don't do a women's battle royal anymore. Remember they used to do that?
The Moolah battle royal.
I think they stopped calling it that, actually.
Yeah.
That got canceled. But they stopped doing the battle royal, period.
Yep.
Oh, that's surprising. I mean, they have enough to do one, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They chose not to. I don't know why. Can't explain it. I did hear that they were going to bring back the Women's Evolution pay-per-view this summer. They were going to do an all-women's pay-per-view. So there's that for women's wrestling in WWE.
That's kind of cool.
I don't know if that's true, but there was a rumor. They didn't announce it yet, but...
Well, I think you can look back on our post show. I remember you didn't like that show whatsoever, if I remember correctly. So
I thought
it was pretty good.
That show was good. We liked that show.
I thought the women's show was good.
The first one, yeah, that show was really good. They had a bunch of stars from the past on it. It was a good show.
They had some good stars from the past. I remember, I think Lita and Trish were in a tag match, if I'm not mistaken. That was good. The main event, though, I think it was Nikki Bella against Ronda. Not the best main event.
Yeah, maybe not. But it was a cool main event. Maybe you didn't like it, but I remember liking that show. Anyways, I think they're going to do another one this summer. Hopefully they do. But we're here to talk about WrestleMania, pal.
41.
And Vince McMahon won't be at WrestleMania, but his buddy, the president of America, Donald Trump, apparently will be. There's a lot of talk that Trump will be at Mania. I wonder if he's going to be at night 1 or night 2. You'd think he'd want to be on night 2. That's a bigger night.
Well, it's just what he's going to appear and that's it, or something, or is he going to have like a backstage promo or something?
I hope not.
Brother, did you see Randy Orton tonight? He's looking for an opponent. Come on. RKO
Randy,
out of nowhere
I'm gonna kick your ass,
on
Randy.
Donald Trump. The RKO would be terrific. The pop would be huge for Randall.
I'm gonna send you to a prison in El Salvador, Randy. Can't get him back.
Oh, yeah? Boom!
Randy was part of a criminal gang called Evolution.
That's true.
They ran roughshod over Monday Night Raw for many years, folks.
Look at the tattoos.
Ric Flair.
Tremendous. Tremendous.
Dave Batista.
So I think, Randy tonight, he says he's going to WrestleMania. And I think it's going to be on night 2. And he's looking for an opponent. Anybody who wrestles, anybody who's ever wrestled, anybody who's laced a pair of boots can come and meet him in the ring. And with talk of Trump showing up, I think obviously he's got to be Randy's opponent, John. Come on, brother. But probably not. I don't know what he's going to do at WrestleMania, but I think he's going to be maybe in the front row for a match or something, or maybe he's going to do commentary with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. Or maybe he's just going to come in the ring and, like, wave. Or just go on the stage and wave. Like, ladies and gentlemen, the president, he comes out, waves, and then goes back. And then that's it. I mean, they could just do that, which is something. They've never had a sitting president of the United States. I don't think they've had a former president or sitting president of the United States appear for any show that they've ever done.
Yeah,
Well, this would be true.
Right?
I don't think George W.
No.
Bush ever made an appearance, like backstage
No.
even or something. Like,
No.
thanks for the tribute to the troops or anything like that.
During the campaign,
They did video stuff.
they did like videos at one point. Obama did like a video message.
Hillary and John McCain.
Yes.
But John McCain's got like the more time. And then they had like a fake Obama versus a fake Hillary match. That was pretty rough.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's the first president appearing at a wrestling show for WWE, which is something. It is Donald Trump, so it's something else. But I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do, but apparently he's going to be there and probably on camera because he doesn't do anything without going on camera. I don't know what he's going to do. But
Do you think he's going to get cheered, though?
I don't think he's going to get cheered.
It's a different audience than the UFC.
Yeah, I think that Triple H's bosses, Ari Emanuel, and those people at TKO, maybe even Nick Khan, are saying, no, get Trump out there. People are going to love it. They bring him out to the UFC, and they cheer him. People love Trump. We love him. Of course they're going to love him. And then you send him out there, and he's going to get massive heat, brother. Dominic Mysterio heat, I think, if he shows up.
Yeah, well, Triple H likes that, though. That's what's the great thing about Trump. That's what he said, right? So,
yeah, that is what Triple H said. This is the quote from... let's get into Triple H quotes because it's always funny because Triple H said a lot of dumb stuff this week. And I want to talk about the game and how stupid he is. So this is what he said to the Andrew Schultz podcast, which, of course he's going there. I think Trump's ability as an orator, like him or hate him, the way he does it, he's charismatic in so many ways. I think he likes getting under people's skin. I think he likes generating heat the way he does. It's amazing. And it's genius. And it worked in our business. Do I think he got that from our business? I think he innately understands that. It's been his whole life. There's a lot of billionaires in the world. Why was he the most famous one? Why was he the one that was in People magazine every week and with everybody under the sun? Why was he seen as the epitome of that billionaire status? Because of his charisma and his character and who he is and the way he can speak about it and do all those things. He just captivates people. You could tell Triple H is captivated.
Yeah.
And, of course, his mother-in-law, Linda McMahon,
Is in the cabinet.
is the Secretary of Education for Donald Trump. So there's that. Pretty, it sounds like a, loose endorsement. It's not an outright endorsement, but it does sound like some admiring words from Triple H, the guy in charge of the WWE. Right? It's not negative thoughts for sure. You can't say anything negative about him. It's dangerous. People are scared to say anything negative about him in public.
Yeah.
Right? So what's he going to do? What's he going to do? What's he going to say? You know?
You shouldn't be surprised by all this.
No.
I mean, you see Triple H at UFC events. Wasn't he hugging Trump at UFC events as well? Like,
yeah.
Or at A1? So
sure. And that's something. Right? That's, one thing to see him and hug him and, go to the Oval Office with your whole family and pose for pictures with him and do all that stuff, which he has done as well, right? Mm-hmm. It's one thing, but it's another thing to bring him out at WrestleMania for the WWE Universe. That's another thing to do. That's more of an endorsement than, just shaking the guy's hand. That's
sure.
That's less of a personal choice endorsement, which he's allowed to make, and more of a public endorsement by the WWE, which is a different story, which, they're probably allowed to make as well, judging by the people that own them and the climate and everything, so that's fine. But that's what it looks like they're doing. That's the road it looks like they're headed down, and I'm not sure that they're ready for the response. Like we've seen so many times in the history of the WWE, they do things, and we sit here going, man, if they do this, the response is not going to be what they want. And then we think, wow, there's no way they're going to actually do this. And then they do it, and they get the response that we expect, and they go, oh, no, I didn't know they were going to act this way.
You don't want Batista to wrestle Randy at Mania?
Or like Vince going, what the hell's wrong with these people? Don't they love John Cena? Roman Reigns. What's wrong with these people in New York? These Hammerstein ballroom animals. Why would they choose Rob Van Dam over John Cena? Who in their right mind? It's disgusting, pal. Stuff like that has been happening for decades. So it's not like they're always in touch with their audience. Triple H, especially, not in touch with the audience. Like, I'm pretty sure a few weeks ago, months ago now, when they sent Hogan out there, the intent was a babyface pop.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Triple H is playing 3D chess knowing that Hogan's going to get booed, and he sends him out there because he hates Hogan so much and he knows it's going to backfire on him. Because
it's a Machiavellian ploy.
I don't think he's that smart doing that type of stuff. I think he sent him out thinking, it's Hogan. People love Hogan.
And Jimmy Hart.
And then they send him out. He gets massive heat, and he's like, oh, yeah, Hogan sucks.
Yeah, I never liked him anyway.
Me and Sean been joking about him for years.
And brother.
Come on. Come on.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you about the Hogan thing, but I feel with Trump, I think it's more just in terms of they want to get people talking about WrestleMania. And what's one of the biggest things to get people talking about it is to have Trump at WrestleMania. Like, even if you're not a wrestling fan, you'll probably check it out just because you want to see what Trump does.
I suppose he draws heat. He's got charisma. I don't know though. I think it may turn some people off. I think a lot of WWE fans are not pro-Trump people. Like, the wrestling fans and the UFC fans is a totally different audience, and we know this.
Yeah.
Because the response online when Trump goes to the UFC from UFC fans is like, hell yeah, brother,
Based.
Right? But the response that Triple H and Roman Reigns have been getting this week from the wrestling online community that Triple H thinks there's like 5 people in, by the way. So that's another thing we'll talk about. But, like, it's been quite negative. It's been quite negative to Triple H and Roman Reigns with their comments that have been, semi-pro Donald Trump. Not fully, but it's been, on the line. Not quite an endorsement of Trump, but not a condemnation. It's kind of like keeping it vague, but also keeping it positive at the same time.
He's charismatic. Not going to say what he says that I like. Like he's not going to get into specifics about, like, policy or anything about Triple H finds good, but it then makes you kind of wonder.
It's not like John Cena's endorsement of Vince McMahon, Triple H doesn't go out and say,
I don't care what anyone says.
I don't care who hears it. I love Donald Trump. I'm not downplaying anything that needs to be decided or allegations of any kind, but when I love somebody, I love them wholeheartedly. I know people are going to be angry about that, but they can't put their value on my relationship with somebody I love. That's what John Cena said about Vince McMahon. He says, I don't care who hears it. I love Vince. I'm not downplaying anything that needs to be decided or allegations of any kind, but when I love somebody, I love them wholeheartedly. I don't care who hears it. I love Vince. Quote from John Cena this week to the New York Times. Pretty good. Pretty good. Just straight up endorse. So that's not what Roman said about Trump, or Triple H didn't say that about Trump. But John Cena said that. I don't want to downplay any allegations, but, I love him a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't care who hears it. I don't care who hears it. I love Vince. Okay.
I guess Cena really, like, I give him a lot of credit. He's a very loyal friend, from what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Like, if he's your friend, like, he's your friend to the thick and through. It's just, maybe it's not the best time to do that, what he said. You don't need to say all that stuff.
This week in PR for WWE has been nuts.
Yeah.
It's been nuts because they're taking nothing but heat.
Yeah, they haven't had many wins.
They've just been getting crushed. Triple H has been getting crushed for the things he's been saying. John Cena's getting crushed. Roman Reigns is getting crushed for the things that he's saying. Roman Reigns, I'll put his quote here. Let me read his quote about Donald Trump. He's been getting a lot of heat for that. I support our president. Trump is one of those guys where he's got a vast history and a huge background. His background is huge.
Yeah,
according to our tribal chief, his background is huge. He's got a vast history and a huge background, John, okay? He's been in entertainment. He's been in big business, politics. At this point, I'm supporting a bright future for our country. Positive and competent leadership. Well, who wouldn't support a bright future for your own country, right? I think you should support a bright future for all countries. For us to be what we're supposed to be a world leader and carry that respect and do what a world power like us should be doing. The respect part, you should maybe ask some people. He needs that opposition to bounce off of, Reigns said. He needs that competitive motivation or something. So, there's that. Roman Reigns taking some heat for that. That seems kind of middle of the road. He's like, I support our president. I support America. I want America to be good. I want our president to be good. It's not a condemnation, or an endorsement, really, but people gave him heat for it, mostly for being too pro.
Well,
yeah.
You see it where, especially here in Canada, if you're anything pro-Trump, you're definitely like an enemy. So
yeah, we're not happy with that in Canada. For the most part. Parts of Alberta. I mean, there are a few people in Quebec and Ontario, I'm sure, that like him, but for the most part, because of, the economics and the tariffs and everything, it's been pretty, And also talking about
annexation.
Talking about annexing our country, taking us over. Like, we're not so happy about that. We don't like that kind of talk. It doesn't feel so good when there's a big, scary America talking about taking you over. We're kind of like, whoa.
What does that mean?
Take it easy, buddy. I don't like that idea so much. I don't think you want us invading your country either. We're a problem.
Well, there's a lot of uneasiness, I think. So it's not a good idea to go down this road. I'm surprised. Again, WWE, I thought they said they weren't about politics. Yet it seems they're all about politics now.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to say they're not about politics, but if you have the president of the United States who's very polarizing on your WrestleMania broadcast, what is that? Is that politics or is that just entertainment, brother? That's just heat, brother. Like what?
Yeah. What kind of heat?
Like I don't understand. I don't understand what they're trying to do here. But clearly the TKO brand that owns, UFC and WWE, they're cozying up to Trump like many huge businesses are to try and get inside because he seems to be a guy that you can pay for access and things.
And a guy also who will sick his legal hounds on you if you don't play ball.
Yeah. Yeah. So he seems vindictive and bribable. So if you have money, what would you do? I'd try to bribe so I don't get the vindictive side, right? If I was a rich guy in America, I'd be like, yeah, let me cozy up to this dude because he seems nuts. And I want to be on his good side because if you're on his bad side, he might destroy you for no reason.
Yeah, just because.
Yeah, so he's volatile. He seems volatile.
Positive and competent leadership.
Roman wants positive and competent leadership.
Yes.
He's got a huge history and a vast background. His background is just vast. It's just massive. There's so much there. CM Punk says about politics and Donald Trump. I mean, everybody's being asked this week. He says, yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't think the company wants us to be outwardly political. I don't think. And I do feel there is probably different rules for different people. I don't talk about politics with Triple H. I don't talk about politics with Paul Heyman. I don't talk politics with Roxanne Perez. It's just 24/7 wrestling. I think it's pretty obvious what my quote-unquote politics are. I've never understood Democrat or Republican glazing the president. I don't like that term, glazing, and I especially don't like it when you're over 40 using it. I think certain old guys, we need to stick to our terms, all right, CM Punk? Don't be saying the glazing. I don't like it. Anyways, president should just kind of do his job, and if you're wearing hats and shirts promoting the president and all that stuff, we have very much seen recently all these people have voted against their best interests because they thought this president was just going to do bad, stupid shit to the people that they don't like.
Yeah.
Voted against their best interests, okay? So he's telling you how he feels. I can sort of draw a line in the sand and say when Elon Musk is throwing Zig Heils up at the podium and I could just see people make excuses for that. Nope. Fucking own it. We saw what you did. Don't gaslight me. I'm not fucking as stupid as you are. You know what I mean? I know what you did, so I know what you are. Now I know where you stand, and this is where I stand. It's just, a strange, ugly world out there, and the only thing I can do is be true to myself and implement and be a voice for myself and my family and my community and then the world. I don't know what people want from us as entertainers. I'm just supposed to quit my job because somebody on Twitter says WWE is a quote-unquote MAGA company. Okay, you're on Lord Elon Musk's fucking Twitter saying stupid shit. Shut the fuck up. What have you done? Because I've done a lot. I just don't broadcast it. I put my money where my mouth is, and the money I make goes to helping impoverished people. And I don't need to write my name in on a fucking GoFundMe to make me feel better about the shitty person I am. I will always move as myself. Sometimes I can crash like water, and sometimes I can be still.
Apparently, people think that GoFundMe line was a shot at Chris Jericho. Because he kind of puts his name.
Oh.
Chris Irvin donates this,
Wow.
I mean, people think.
Jeez, he won't let the AEW beefs go, no matter what he's saying, no matter where he is. He's always going to throw a shot at somebody over there.
It's just a speculation.
You're probably right. That was a promo from CM Punk that he said to somebody. The Ringer Wrestling Show. Yeah, that's clearly where CM Punk stands. You can see there. It's a different style comment when asked from CM Punk than you get from Triple H or Roman Reigns, right? Totally different. More,
That's vague.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah,
it's clear.
You get a good impression of how he feels, but he's also not trying to bury anyone too as well at the same time. So I feel that we're getting way too distracted in all this. Like WrestleMania, like I kind of mentioned this to you guys just before we started, it feels like it's an afterthought, or it's not even the thing you're thinking about the most right now, because everyone's getting distracted with everything else going on.
Yeah. With John Cena saying he doesn't care who knows it, he loves Vince McMahon. With Roman Reigns and Triple H declaring their love for Donald Trump, with CM Punk saying the opposite. And Triple H saying some more dumb shit.
About the
Bury the fans, didn't he? Triple H? I remember I saw that, or something. Like, he said something about the fans should need to shut up or something. Or
he goes to Pat
fun.
McAfee, okay, on the Pat McAfee show.
Uh-oh.
He says, "At some point, you love this. You loved it more than anything, and you grew up watching it, and you're invested, and you went as a fan. And then for some reason, you got into being a critic. Or somebody asked you to be a critic, and now you're hypercritical. To me, that ruins the experience for people. I don't want to go watch a movie or anything else and just criticize everything I see in it. I just want to go see if I enjoy the movie. You know, people will criticize this. I don't put a lot of stock into what is on the internet unless it follows through to other things we do, right? When Jey Uso won the Rumble, there were a lot of people that had their thoughts and comments and opinions on that, which is at the end of the day, all they are. But there are 15,000 people in a venue, and as Pat said, it's been sold out all the time, yeeting and going absolutely crazy when he comes out, including him and including him. So who do we listen to? The few people or the large crowd? And that's the thing. So we're fortunate enough to have a focus group every single night of a lot of people that are really in that moment, fans, not being critics, not being anything else. And people are allowed to love what they love and dislike what they dislike, and their opinions are their opinions, but you cannot base things on the opinions of some when the majority feels differently. But when the majority starts to feel it, that's when you gotta listen. So Triple H is saying to you that the majority of people are the 15,000 people that go to the arenas from night to night, who are spending a bunch of money, who are excited to go to a show, who are seeing the WWE once every couple of years, if that, maybe once for the first time in their lives, and of course they're gonna pop. And you think that those 15,000 people, Triple H, are more than the millions of people that are online and everywhere streaming and watching this thing? You keep telling us how big the Netflix deal is. Who do you think is watching Netflix, you fucking doofus? Who do you think is fucking watching the show? Oh, it's the 15,000 people. Why are you catering to the 15,000 people when there are fucking millions around the world that are telling you what they think, and you're going to ignore that? How fucking thick are you? Fucking idiot. How stupid is this guy? You know, it's a few people online. There's only like 6 guys on the internet.
Just Meltzer
it's Dave
Sean
Meltzer and Jim Cornette. It's 3 guys, and they don't like it sometimes, but they're just marks. What the fuck was that, man? The people in the audience are, of course, gonna pop.
Yeah.
When I go to the show, I'm like, oh, cool, nice. I'm clapping for some things when I'm at the show. I'm making noise with my hands. Sometimes I may even yell out, Cody, nice penis, or something like that, right? Right?
Middle fingers.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm joking. I'm just joking.
I mean, I've yelled some controversial things.
Yeah, I mean, you might say some rude things, but not that, probably. Although, maybe you will. It's funny. How would he react, right? He might laugh. If somebody, during a Cody Rhodes match, it's all quiet, somebody yells out, Cody, nice penis, you're going to laugh. You're going to go, what? Did that guy just say Cody, nice penis? Anyways.
Speaking of Cody, we got Cody and John Cena in the ring right now.
Yeah, I know. I kind of want to hear what they're saying, but I'm talking to you about how dumb Triple H is.
But I guess he's talking about his 17th title, and it's gonna get lost in all the noise. Apparently, like that's what he started off with.
Yeah, I gotta put my subtitles on to see what's going on. John Cena and Cody Rhodes in the ring right now, their final promo before WrestleMania. But, I mean, come on, how ridiculous a statement is that? Who do we listen to, the people online or the large crowd? Where more people are watching this show on TV, on Netflix, on whatever, than are in the crowd. And the people that are watching the show on TV, and some of them shitting on it every week because it sucks, like SmackDown sucked tonight and your go-home show to WrestleMania. Yeah. Not a good show. Not a good SmackDown. Not a good Raw. And that's this week, last week, then, now, forever.
Together.
Garbage. Garbage build to WrestleMania. And Triple H is like, well, the people in Bologna, Italy sure liked it. Yeah, because they've never seen WWE TV in their lives. Of course they're going to go crazy. What are you talking about? It's nuts to say, oh, the people in the area, 15,000. 15,000 people is who you're concerned about? And you think the people online don't matter because there's fewer than 15,000 of them? They're not buying tickets? They're the ones choosing to buy or not to buy tickets when you come to their town. Why don't you ask your buddies in the UFC how ticket sales are going in Montreal for UFC 315? And then maybe you'll make sure to have some reasonable ticket prices for your SmackDown show that you're about to put on sale here. Because WWE's coming to Montreal for SmackDown in August, and they're about to put tickets on sale next week. Yikes. We'll see how ticket prices are, but I'm expecting them to be outrageous.
Yeah.
Outrageous. I'm expecting to be shocked and appalled and maybe not even go because of how crazy it might be. Like, we'll see.
Yeah, because
I think I'm going to wind up going, but I don't know if I'm going to pay for the seats that I normally pay for because I think it's going to cost me more than I'm willing to spend. It's a little nuts. So we'll see what that is, but
that's Louis Theroux in the audience.
I think there is a limit to what you can do here if you're Triple H. And the fact that he's still talking like this is ridiculous. Saying, why are people criticizing? Everybody loves what I'm doing. I'm doing such a good job. You're not. You're not doing a great job. This WrestleMania does not look great. The show, the build to the show has not been good.
Yeah, there's not much hype.
It's very boring. It's a very boring product. And Dynamite this week was pretty terrific. And I noticed Nick Khan is doing a full court press just shitting on AEW this week in all his interviews.
Yeah.
I think they're a little nervous because they realize that the product is actually better. It doesn't look as nice. It doesn't have all the attention. It doesn't have a lot of what WWE has, obviously. But in the ring, and from a critical standpoint, it is a better show. And it's a more exciting show.
Well, I don't know about you guys. I just feel, and I hate to take a shot against the fans in Europe, UK. They're great fans, but I really feel that tour of Europe really killed the whole WrestleMania.
Yeah.
On the road to WrestleMania tour, pretty much, because they focused more on, oh, what a cool atmosphere, let's soak it all in, instead of having engaging television. Because pretty much what we had was just matches that really didn't mean much whatsoever. We had moments that maybe lasted for a little bit, but really was just oh, let's suck in all the crowd chants. And that's all that really happened the whole time. And it felt like most of them were tired doing all that because they had to travel so much. And they were gone from home for so long.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were house shows, essentially.
They did a crazy tour, and they worked themselves to the bone, and, look what happened. Kevin Owens didn't make it.
Did he get injured there too? Wow, that's terrible.
I think it was on the tour.
It's sad. That's what happened.
Yeah. It's a rough road. Somebody was not, injuries were going to happen. It was a very rigorous tour, and we talked about it leading into it, that it was kind of nuts that they were doing this going into WrestleMania. Doing all this TV in all these new markets all around Europe, keeping them in Europe for like a month right before Mania. They never do that, and they never do that for a reason. They send them to Europe after Mania. Not before. And they especially don't do that much TV in Europe.
No, it's just London.
It didn't work. It didn't work. And the shows that they did were very mid.
Well,
nothing was very good.
Crowd was fantastic, and I'm sure they made a lot of money because I'm sure those weren't exactly cheap tickets that they sold for all those shows.
Correct.
So they're happy with that. But yeah, the compelling television took a huge nosedive, I think.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, with those kinds of tours, if they do it again next year and they charge the same for tickets or more, they won't be able to sell out. They won't be able to sell as many. Because if you keep doing this to people, if you keep showing up and charging somebody crazy prices, and when they go, it's like a mid-level experience, they're not going to pay the same when you come back. Because if they think it's once in a lifetime and then you keep coming back, well, they're not going to do it because they're used to it. So Triple H may be happy with how everything is going right now, but there is a limit to how far this can go unless it's a little bit more compelling and they can do a little bit better with their TV.
Well, remember last year when you went to Raw? I think it was, what was it, May or April last year or something like that?
Yeah, it was a couple
weeks after Raw. Something like that.
Yeah, it was a little after Mania.
Yeah, a little after Mania. And it was the first Raw, like they were saying, sell out, sell out, sell out. And that Raw was the first one they never sell out. And I wouldn't be surprised if, again, when they go to Montreal, they probably won't sell out. Even though it only happens once a year, it's not as big of a thing anymore as it used to be.
Yeah, we'll see how tickets go when they go on sale here. But Triple H just saying some supremely dumb stuff again this week. Can't help himself. Cody and Cena cutting their final promo now on SmackDown, going back and forth. I don't know. I can't really tell what's going on.
It's like Cody told Cena he can't wrestle.
Yeah, and he made fun of Cena being naked at the Oscars.
Okay.
And Cena said something about not being a loser like all the other ones that retire and keep coming back because they need the fans to remember him. He doesn't need that.
All right.
Okay.
Such a heel.
Yeah. So let's get into it.
Cody Rhodes now.
They're singing Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. That's the one thing that they took from the European fans and brought over to America that I do like. The singing of the song for the people. Roman Reigns. They're doing it for him too.
To the tune of Daddy Cool by Boney M.
By the way, like these comments from Triple H or Roman Reigns or CM Punk or anybody.
Attitude adjustment?
Or even John Cena about Vince. It doesn't make me like them any more or less. You know, like I kind of figured where they stood anyways. Yeah. Them saying what they say, I'm kind of like, it seems about par for the course for you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Roman didn't surprise me at all.
No, and Triple H doesn't surprise me. And Cena tried to hit attitude adjustment, but Cody reversed and hit Cena with the crossroads. And now he does the boom and points at the sign, so leaving Cena laying.
But you go over going into the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't know if that's always true, though. So let's do it. Let's preview WrestleMania. Enough nonsense. Enough Triple H talk. I'm tired of talking about that huge dick. Let's go
to one thing.
Exactly. Huh?
Just one thing. Like Cena's like dead. Like I don't know about you. Like
Cena died.
Yeah.
That's how he sells.
How many crossroads does it usually take to finish a match? Usually takes like 3 in a row. One crossroad. Like what the heck is this?
Well, he hit him real good with it. He knocked him unconscious. But on WrestleMania, he won't hit him as good, and he'll take like 3 or 4, and he'll be all right.
Maybe like 6. If you don't see a match at Mania, it takes like 10 finishers, right?
Man, have you ever seen wrestling before? Sometimes they sell things ridiculously, you know? You know wrestling, right?
Roman Reigns, too, is guilty of it. The way he was just like dead, like afterwards. Like it was kind of stupid.
Well, he got killed by Seth Rollins.
Ridiculous.
Paul Heyman owes Seth Rollins a favor because Seth Rollins didn't beat the hell out of him.
Yeah, that's really stupid, but that's them trying to stretch something into something.
More favors. There's so many favors going on.
Can't keep track of the favors.
Everybody's trading favors.
I like Seth's promo on SmackDown tonight, but overall the build has been very good for this 3-way, and I don't know about you guys, it's not the most important 3-way in the history of WWE like they're kind of putting it over as. It's a nice match, but that's about it.
What is the most important 3-way?
I mean, it was up to a certain point. It was Triple H,
Benoit.
Shawn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then that doesn't exist anymore. So I think now, and I'm 100% sure I'm right, it's Roman, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. Because think about that. That match, boom. Yeah, Roman Reigns.
I kind of forget like that happened.
Again, Johnny.
You're talking about Daniel Bryan one. Roman Reigns was a longer reign. That was the epic reign.
No. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think because the match wasn't that important in the end. Like I think you talk about most important triple threat match in WWE history was the main event of WrestleMania. It was the first time it was Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Ronda Rousey. First time women ever main evented WrestleMania. And it was a triple threat match, and it was massive. I think that was the biggest triple threat match in WWE history.
Ronda losing.
Yeah. And Becky winning, too. That was a huge win for Becky and catapulted her to superstardom.
The pinnacle of the man run.
Yep. I think that was the one.
Yeah,
I think that was the one.
That's a great argument.
That was bigger than this, too.
That's a great argument. I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
And a good build, too.
Ooh, that was a good one. I pulled that one out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you're one of the few people that actually will give Ronda credit, because that's the problem. A lot of people don't give Ronda credit, but she helped make that WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the main event unless Ronda's there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Women don't main event WrestleMania that year for the first time ever unless it's Ronda Rousey. And Charlotte Flair, too. You know, Becky Lynch was along for the ride at that point, but she made the most of it. You know, and that's the whole point. Just like Seth Rollins is along for the ride in this CM Punk Roman Reigns thing, because those guys are the big stars, but Seth is going to make the most of it, I think. Walk out the winner, just like his wife did in the other biggest triple threat of all time. How about that? How about that?
Maybe she'll make an appearance.
Ooh, big time Bex.
She was at some show, and she said, like, maybe I'll show up at WrestleMania. I'll wrestle again one day. And kind of was like a little wink.
Let's do it, though. Let's break it all down. Let's go through WrestleMania. It's our WrestleMania preview. Let's go. Night 1, WrestleMania. We are set to open with Gunther and Jey Uso. Jey Uso, who was 90% theme song and entrance. And 10% saying yeet, I think. And the rest of it, I don't know. But I think he's probably going to be the next world champion. That's the Raw Championship. That's the one that means nothing. It means probably as much as the Intercontinental Championship, but even then, maybe less. And, you know, they're both on Raw. But Gunther, right now, the World Heavyweight Champion, I like him. People are not so excited about Gunther. People are more excited about Jey Uso, for sure, these days. Yeah, they're going to open Night 1 of WrestleMania. You're supposed to main event WrestleMania if you win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But that's not the case this year. That used to be the case, but not anymore, because the 2 Royal Rumble winners are not main eventing WrestleMania. Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, and he is not main eventing WrestleMania. And Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble.
Charlotte Flair, no?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Charlotte Flair won the Royal Rumble, and she is not. Bianca won the Chamber. Charlotte won the Rumble. She's not main eventing either. She's not closing the show. She's on night 1 with Tiffy time, but Roman, Punk, and Seth are closing that show. We know that for a fact. So, different times. Does it bother you that the Rumble winner doesn't main event WrestleMania? Like, I think it depends on the year, Yeah. I think the Rumble winner should main event Mania when it makes sense, but my only problem with it is they shouldn't advertise like, oh, if you win the Rumble, you main event WrestleMania, because that's what they did advertise it as, and that's how they always push it as. And then once, you say that, and then Jey wins, and then it's like, well, you actually open WrestleMania. Next year, when they say, oh, if you win the Rumble, you main event WrestleMania, you go, well, do you, though? Because the women or the men didn't main event Mania. So,
I want to say...
Like, who won the chamber for the men? Oh, Cena won the men's chamber.
Yeah.
So he is main eventing Mania. But, like, Bianca won the women's chamber, and they're probably opening the show. Like, you win the chamber, you win the Rumble. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
you're going to get a spot at Mania, but you're not going to necessarily main event.
I really feel the triple threat match. I mean, I get it, the star power involved, but in terms of like what it means in the end, it's just a match. I mean, the others, there's championships involved. I really feel at least Charlotte and Tiffany should have been the main event of night 1 at least.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't think Gunther and Jey should be the last match. That would be kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, but Charlotte and Tiffy, I think, have enough heat, especially now, that you could have main evented night 1, but whatever. CM Punk had to have his way. Big baby Punk. Big baby Punk. He had to have his way once again, and he had to get his main event spot, just like he had to have Paul Heyman with him, just like he had to get his bracelet back from Drew McIntyre. Big baby Punk. Gunther, I think he's dropping the title to Jey Uso. Jey Uso's got a ton of momentum. You can tell the WWE loves him. They've given him tons of TV time for the build on this. It's been not great. I'm going to go with Uso winning. I think we're going to see a lot of title changes at WrestleMania, and I think they're going to start us off with something nice where the fans will all yeet and be excited. Jey Uso will celebrate. Jey Uso will win. He'll be the world champion. I'm not expecting much out of this match, though, because I've seen it like 4 times, and it's never that good.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I wonder, in terms of like the odds in Vegas, like I think Jey Uso must be like the biggest favorite on this one. I mean, I feel like he's the easy lock of the whole show. The whole weekend, I think, it's Jey Uso. Like it makes sense. Of course, they're going to start off with him winning the championship. That's the best way to start the show.
I'm kind of hoping Gunther wins.
I hope.
Like I know, like it makes all the sense in the world, especially if they open the show. But at the same time, it'd be kind of a nice swerve, and I think Gunther needs a win at WrestleMania, like as like in the championship thing, like last year losing to Sami Zayn, I think was like big, but like if he's just the guy that builds strong and then loses at Mania, that's gonna wear off, and then his character as a whole will kind of wear off as far as credibility. I think him beating Jey Uso helps solidify, like, no, Gunther's not just a guy to be toppled over. Gunther's a force that's here to stay. I think.
Yeah. If people are expecting Jey Uso to win, I think if Gunther won, people will be like, oh, okay, Gunther's not going anywhere.
This is kind of interesting. Mania's not so predictable after all.
Jey Uso minus 600, Gunther plus 350, the underdog. So Uso is favored to win, and is he the biggest favorite on the card? No, he's not. He is not.
Really? Wow,
yes.
That's the biggest surprise.
Second biggest. Tied for second biggest.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. So we all have Jey Uso winning, I guess.
I've got Gunther.
Oh, you're going with Gunther.
I'm going with Gunther.
Okay.
I think
Wow.
I think it makes sense.
They do so many title changes at Mania. Gunther's been champion for a while. I think they're moving on and going with a little Jey Uso run. Give him the belt. Let him see what he can do.
It makes sense.
I think they're going there. The War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, defending the Raw Tag Team titles against the New Day. I think that this match is just a reboot for the New Day. You really have no other reason to put this at WrestleMania other than to showcase this new version of the New Day and have them win the tag titles and then go on post WrestleMania in the new era of Raw, the new season, if you will, leading into next year's Mania with the New Day as the heel tag team champions on top of the tag division on Raw, where they should be with this new run, this new gimmick, the turn. You know, it's a completely new Woods and Kofi. They're still a tag team, so I think you give them the belts because they're obviously the best. They are one of the greatest tag teams of all time, if not the best. So I'm going with the New Day. They're awesome. I think the match should be pretty good, too. I think people may be surprised at how good this match is because Eric and Ivar are very good. So I think this match should be, surprisingly good. Because, you're not expecting much out of it. It's kind of just there, but I think this will be real good because the New Day as well. I mean, they're great. What do you think?
Well, Dave, I feel that we might have a lot of the same picks, if not identical picks. 'Cause I feel the exact same way you do almost. So the only difference is I actually have low expectations, much like you kind of do, but I don't know if this can be any better than I'm expecting it to be honest. And that's very low. This might be one of the worst matches I think we see on both nights. So, But yeah, I agree with you. New Day to capture the Raw Tag Team titles, or the World Tag Team titles, I believe they're called.
Yeah, I'll go New Day as well. I don't think this match is going to get a lot of time.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like it's going to be kind of a quick one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm kind of interested to see if Big E is there or gets involved in some way.
Yeah.
Maybe he kind of does a heel move to help the New Day.
Help them after what? I don't think he can help them.
Yeah, I don't see that. Yeah, I don't see help.
Because them turning on him is what made them what they are. And I think he's got to stay out of the way for this one. I think he can't be involved. Because if he's involved, he's costing in the belts. He's, helping. Okay. And I don't think he's helping the Viking Raiders. I think it's going to be
maybe some kind
New
of
Day
cheating
winning
finish.
Whatever.
Holding the ropes, holding the tights.
Or not. They just hit their finisher and they win because they're New Day and they can do that. But I just don't see E getting involved in any way at this show.
Maybe.
I don't think it helps the New Day gimmick in any way.
But, I have New Day winning.
Okay. How about this? Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Rey Mysterio had a 6-man tag tonight and was carried off limping after the match. So
Was that just selling, or is that...
No, this was not on the show. This was off air.
Well, then off the LWO winning tonight, I was already thinking I'd go with Chad Gable. I know you call him El Grande, but I know it's Chad Gable. I'm not playing up the whole stupid gimmick thing. It's Chad Gable. He's going to win. It's winning.
El Grande Americano, pal.
I like that it's no longer the Gulf of America. At least they've changed that, but still, it's Chad Gable.
Yeah. Well, of course it's Chad Gable. Chad Gable wrestled twice tonight. He was in the Battle Royal, and then he was in the 6-man. And he will wrestle Rey Mysterio, possibly, hopefully, tomorrow as El Grande Americano. And I think El Grande Americano will win as well. I think he will pull some sort of fast one, some sort of shenanigans where there will be a second El Grande Americano under the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And then Grande will, do something to Rey. And then Chad Gable will reveal himself on the other side of the ring. We'll be like, what the hell? How was El Grande there, but Chad Gable's over there? I think we'll do some sort of thing like that where we see Gable and El Grande at the same time, and it's kind of like a big, whoa, what the hell's going on? Probably some of that loaded mask stuff too, where they put the metal in the mask and do a headbutt. Maybe the fake El Grande will do that, the one that isn't Chad Gable. But I believe that we will see El Grande Americano with some magic tricks, some trickery, beating Rey Mysterio. And the guy under the mask who beats Rey may not even be Chad Gable. Maybe somebody else as El Grande.
Maybe Julius could be that, one of the Creed brothers.
Yep. Could be a Creed Americano. Anyhow, Jade Cargill, you got El Grande, or are you going with Raymond Mysterio?
I guess El Grande.
Everybody loves Raymond, you know.
I guess
great.
El Grande. I mean, you know, like, Ray's just there to put people over.
Yep. I hope he's okay and not, like, hurt and is able to wrestle. Shout out to Ray Cruz, member of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net. He says, I have a feeling that a new member will join the New Day and help them. Perhaps Carmelo Hayes? I don't know. Carmelo's with Miz right now. I just don't see that happening. Shout out to Angelo as well. See you, Angelo Contagonis, in the chat. Nice to see everybody here live on a Friday night, getting ready for a big weekend here of WrestleMania. We're previewing night one. We're going to Jade Cargill versus Naomi. They had a confrontation tonight on SmackDown. They hate each other because, well, Jade hates Naomi because Naomi attacked her and put her out of action for a long time. And Naomi hates Jade because Jade took Bianca's friendship and was using Bianca and something about Bianca.
Great line from Naomi in her promo. She's like, I called you, and I texted you, and I know you saw it because it said text received.
It said text delivered.
Yeah, text delivered.
Because it said
you
delivered.
can't hide from me.
And I know you got it because it said delivered.
That was good.
I like this Naomi version.
Caution.
Yeah.
Well, regardless of Naoma, like, and her somewhat interesting, like, heel persona that she's got going on.
Quite a persona.
I'd still go with, like, you know, just the way her attitude is now. Like, I actually enjoy her attitude a little bit. It's actually kind of funny, like you said, like the way she talks now and the way she's kind of like trying to be all serious. I enjoy that, actually. It's better than what she was doing before. But I still got Jade winning this one. I think Jade's definitely winning because Jade took a loss because of Naoma, and that was her first loss. So I think Jade gets the revenge on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jade probably gets her revenge on Naomi. I don't know. I like Naomi. Did you see the back and forth between Jade and Naomi on Twitter?
I didn't see that. What happened with that?
You didn't see that?
Machi.
Did you see that?
I saw a bit of that.
Oh my God! Hold on. I gotta pull these tweets up because they're fantastic. Naomi.
Well, that's the women of WWE. They love to do these Twitter wars for some reason. I don't know why.
God! But Naomi just going nuts. Naomi's just really embracing this character, evil Naomi. And I'm trying to pull this up for you here. I'm having a little technical issue.
She hasn't said enough is enough yet, though.
No.
Waiting for that.
Time for a change.
Try to be a nice woman. I don't think she said that either.
What's going on here? It's not working for me. I'm having technical issues. I want to show you the thing, but it's not working.
She didn't block you too, right?
Wait. I think it's working. I think I got it. Here we go. Okay. So there's Jade Cargill with abs, looking muscular. And then there's Trinity Fatu, Naomi, on Twitter saying, I just know she'd pay $3.99 a month for that ab filter. Can't fool me. Pretty funny.
There's a filter.
I guess. I don't know. And then Jade Cargill goes, just like we know you went to DR for your ass shots, Dominican Republic for butt injections to make her butt larger. That's what Jade Cargill's saying. Okay? And then Naomi responds, okay? The only ass shots I get are from Big Jim. Good God Almighty, pal!
Yeah.
By God!
Proceed with caution.
Good God Almighty!
Why? Why did she tweet that? Like, I don't get it. Why would you do that?
What do you mean? She's saying she's talking about sexual relations with her husband.
Yeah, like, fine, like
that's wild.
We really
Big Jim. Big Jim, baby. There's a reason they call him Big Jim. Oh, my God.
That's taking it one way and going a totally different direction with this. Like, wow.
Well, this is what she meant, apparently. Oh, where'd it go? Uh-oh. 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 There we go.
You've lost it.
There it is.
Oh. Wait, what does that even mean?
She goes, we
What?
don't need your affairs for your husband. And then Naomi goes, I was actually talking about these great protein, big boss size Slim Jim. Big Jim.
Uh-huh.
What does that have to do with her butt? She put Slim Jims in her butt? No, she's saying.
Right, the only ass shots you get are from Big Jim, and she's talking about
Slim Jim. So
I don't know.
She put
yeah,
Slim
kind of.
Jims-
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I have to put beef jerky in my ass.
Yeah.
I
Pretty
think
good.
probably WWE
Spicy talk.
PR is like very upset with a lot of WWE superstars this week.
Yeah, man, the PR has been nuts.
Yeah, under
Murdered
control.
this week. Destroyed PR.
Oh my God.
Also, Stephanie starts a new podcast, and she explicitly states, "I have a no douchebags rule. Here's my first guest, Dana White." The no douchebags allowed show.
Well, you can't really have a no douchebag
Here's a
policy
major douchebag.
when you, in fact, are a douchebag.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. I still haven't seen the Stephanie show. How is it? Have you guys watched it yet?
No.
No, like the
Yuck.
her spaces
Yeah, is that what it is?
where it's
Yeah,
just like
I
I'm going
haven't
to talk to employees of mine about what they think of me.
Jade Cargill's been going nuts on Twitter. Naomi's been going nuts on Twitter. They're going to wrestle. I think Jade probably gets her revenge and wins. Let's see what the betting odds are for that one. Jade Cargill is the favorite minus 500. Naomi plus 300. El Grande Americano plus 110 underdog. Rey Mysterio minus 150 the favorite. Hey, if you can
Interesting.
bet on this thing, maybe bet on El Grande Americano because we all got him to win. So El Grande, an underdog. New Day minus 600 the favorites to beat the War Raiders plus 350. So we're on the money on that one, Johnny North. Let's see what else we have on night 1 of WrestleMania. LA Knight set to defend the U.S. title against Jacob Fatu. This is a match I really don't care to see. I'm just not interested.
It could be good.
It could be good, but I just, I'm hoping it's good so it's worth watching because the build to it has been pretty mid. I just don't care. I don't feel that there's real beef between LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. I feel like there's more beef between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa.
Well, I think the problem with this came out of kind of nowhere because LA Knight just won the title back recently, beating Nakamura, and then suddenly, bam, he's in a new feud right away. And again, there was more with Solo and LA Knight, but they kind of push it because they want Jacob, so that's what we have. I think they're going to have Jacob win the title, actually, though.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. I think LA got it back to set up this match with Jacob to give Jacob something.
I
think
feel like
they're
Solo's
pushing
going to
Jacob
cost it
hard.
for Jacob somehow, and it'll lead to them like really full out fighting.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's an
That's
option.
not possible.
They
Yeah.
seemed on the same page in the tag match tonight, though, right?
Somewhat. But they also lost.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Jacob wins. I think they want to do something big with Jacob Fatu. Give him the U.S. title and maybe him and Solo feud over that. But I think they're moving on to something else with LA Knight. I got Jacob winning, too. Oh, well.
I got Lid Knight.
How about Tiffy Time and Charlotte Flair? It's set to likely co-main event of night 1. Women's Championship on the line. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be Charlotte's time again. I think people are going to be real mad.
Yeah.
And Charlotte's going to win again. I think WWE's a little bit more upset with Tiffany for what she said than what Charlotte said. I think they're going to slow down the push of Tiffy and make her I think they're going to punish her a little bit for what happened.
Yep.
I think they're going to take the title away from her, and we might see a slight demotion for Tiffany, not being at the top of the card, going forward. She'll be back, but I think she kind of overstepped with Charlotte. She went personal with Charlotte. Like, Charlotte in the promo was the first one to kind of go off script. But when she went off script, she's like, okay, you go, have the last word. Like, the people won't let me talk, so you go, whatever. And then Tiffany started saying all sorts of stuff about Charlotte. And then she said the divorce comment. I mean, Charlotte had already gone off script, but then Tiffany went off script as well and went personal. And then Charlotte said the thing about Kaiser, but whatever. I mean, that's not real. It's not true. What Tiffany said about Charlotte is true. 0-3 on marriages. You know?
Well, and the thing about how you were on like a podcast, like crying about it, like that was legit. And, like,
yes,
making fun of her for that. Like, wow.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. So I think they're more mad at Tiffy than they are at Charlotte. I think Charlotte is more valued by the company at this point, and she is going to win because of a lot of those factors. This is a political match at this point, and I think Charlotte is winning. I think when they booked it, Tiffy was probably going to win, but because of how this is all played out, they're going to go with Charlotte, and I think you should go with Charlotte. I think Tiffany needs to learn a bit of a lesson. A lesson from the Queen. Because, you know, Charlotte didn't handle things great, but Tiffany didn't handle things great either. And Charlotte, as the veteran, is allowed to push. She's allowed to go off script a little bit and have you react. And you, as the new guy, the new woman, whatever, you're supposed to react and follow along and be able to think on your feet and not resort to personal attacks. That can get you a loss at WrestleMania. Just ask John Cena. You know? John Cena, when he was feuding with The Rock, when he was the young guy and The Rock was a veteran, they were building their match at WrestleMania. John Cena went personal on The Rock. And he went off script on The Rock. And how did that match play out? John Cena learned his lesson. The Rock politicked it. Made sure he won.
You think Cena was supposed to win the first match?
I don't know. But, you know, I think there were definitely conversations of maybe, hey, John should win this because he's here all the time. He's our guy. But that's not the way it went.
It's a great promo, though. When
Dwayne wasn't an owner of the company back then either, you know?
Yeah. That was a hell of a line from Cena. The notes on your promo. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wasn't supposed to do all that.
Yeah.
Rock got
I
rattled.
remember The Rock stepping to him like he was going to like deck him.
Rock was really mad. And he made sure he won.
Well,
I think Charlotte got really mad and she's going to make sure to win.
this is something I talked about with people like at a wrestling show I was at last week. I said, like, if that would ever happen, like an 0-3 comment like that, if that ever happened, it's not we're going to have a match afterwards, that we're going to have a fight backstage afterwards, or we're going to go outside and have that fight. So I imagine there was a blow up or something happened, and WWE is far more professional than most companies, so I'm sure they've figured out a way to settle all this. And from what it seems like when you've heard Charlotte and Tiffany talk about afterwards, they're going to do business. So I agree with you. I think Charlotte's winning this one.
Charlotte did a little promo with Wade Barrett that felt like a shoot tonight. It's like, what happened with Tiffany? Things went a little out of control. Lines were crossed, and she's like, yeah, feel bad everything happened the way it did. You know, Tiffany learned some lessons. I learned some lessons. And, you know, in the end, it got people more invested in her match at WrestleMania. She said that a couple times. Like, well, people are more invested now, so. It was very much like a shoot promo from Charlotte. There was no...
Yeah, it was very casually said, too.
Yeah, it was just like, well, people are more invested now, so, it's regrettable the way things went down. It wasn't supposed to go that way, but people like it. People are more into the match now, and that's the whole point of it. So there we go.
I saw that Tiffany got, when we were going, right when we were on the air, Tiffany had like one of those too, so I don't know exactly what she said. But I saw clips that were interspersed of her like doing the 0-3 and rolling out of the ring, so I'm guessing it was in that sphere.
Yeah, that's it. Tiffany also. It seems like they both did like apology promos for that promo that went off the rails a couple weeks ago. They kind of had to do like an apology promo leading into their match at WrestleMania, which is kind of weird.
It is a little weird.
Right?
I mean, it's something people are talking about more than anything, right? Like Ray Phoenix had debuted, and no one was really talking about that. They were talking about just that promo. So
yeah,
like she's not wrong. Like it got people talking for the wrong reasons, and I also feel that I don't know if it's going to live up to what people are expecting. No. I don't think it's going to be the shoot fight that they're expecting is going to happen. I think they're just going to have their match, and it's just going to be a match.
Yeah, I think it might be good, but I don't think there's enough cooperation between the two of them for it to be that good.
I think this could be like, it has potential to be one of the best matches you see, but yeah, I think it's just going to be a by the numbers, simple kind of match.
Yeah, I think Charlotte could make it really good, but I don't think she likes Tiffany enough to do that. I think she's just going to beat her and send her packing. Okay, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. It's a triple threat main event, night one. A lot's been said about this match. A lot of promos have gone down. Paul Heyman's going to be in CM Punk's corner because of the favor. Seth Rollins is owed a favor by Heyman. And I think it's going to be cashed in during this match where Heyman will side with Seth Rollins, go against his tribal chief, Roman Reigns. His tribal chief who sent him hurling to the ground, just pushed his head, and Heyman went flying on Raw on Monday night, which CM Punk didn't like, but Roman Reigns getting abusive towards Heyman, physically abusive. So I think the Roman Reigns-Paul Heyman relationship is over. I think the groveling to the tribal chief era for Paul Heyman is over here at WrestleMania. He will be coming out to the ring with CM Punk, but I believe he will be leaving with Seth Rollins. And Seth will win night one of WrestleMania.
See that happening 10 years after he closed WrestleMania 31.
Does it again, brother.
Shocks the world.
This time with Paul Heyman. Shocks everybody. No one expects it. And maybe even joins up with The Rock and John Cena on night two.
Could be.
That would be quite a group. Heyman, Cena, Rock, Seth, Travis Scott. What a group. What a team.
That's something, I guess. I got Roman, actually. I think Paul's going to go back with Roman in the end.
Ooh. Wow. Okay.
And I think Punk.
Whoa.
That's a great way to complete this.
Wow.
I think Punk's going to get the win.
Unbelievable.
Phil Brooks, damn it.
Unbelievable.
His momentum must keep going forward.
Look in my eyes. What do you see?
Their Living Color's going to perform.
Glenn Coca personality.
Is it true Slayer is going to perform on night two?
That's what
confirmed?
Slayer?
I think that there was talk of Slayer performing.
I thought they broke up.
But I don't know if they would perform on night two of WrestleMania or maybe in the future. I think WWE was, I don't know. Maybe.
Whose theme song?
No idea.
I'm thinking it would be Damian Priest.
Okay. Yeah, apparently Living Color is going to play CM Punk to the ring, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I got Seth, Johnny's got Roman, and you've got Punk.
That's right.
Ooh, okay. So we're basically picking the same except for the main event of night one. That's fun. That's exciting.
Well, I think Ben also had Gunther as well, right? That was the only...
Yeah. And somebody else. Didn't you pick... Because I've got Jey Uso winning, new champ.
I've got LA Knight.
New Day winning, new champs. Grande Americano winning, new champ of Luchador Wrestling. We've got Jade Cargill winning. You've got LA Knight. And me and Johnny got Jacob Fatu. Yeah. We've all got Charlotte Flair beating Tiffany. And then in the main event, we are totally split. Where I'm going with Seth, Johnny's going with the Roman, and you are going with Phillip Brooks, CM the Punk. Okay, night 2, WrestleMania. Oh my God,
It's going.
There's so much goddamn
So
WrestleMania
much.
here, pal. 7 matches on each show. Night 2, Io Sky defending the Women's World Title against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. It's a triple threat match that took forever to actually make official, even though the whole world knew it was going to happen. Took goddamn forever on this build for them to say, yes, it's a triple threat. And we're like, yeah, we know. We know. I hate when they do that, when they act like we don't know where they're headed. And they're clearly headed in that direction. Ooh, Io Sky is a champion, and Bianca Belair won the Elimination Chamber, and Rhea Ripley's former champion, and she really wants to be in the match at WrestleMania, but oh well, we don't have a spot for her. What are we going to do? And then you spend like 6 weeks pretending like we don't know the obvious solution. Then you get to the obvious solution, and the whole audience is like, yeah, we know, triple threat. Could we fucking do it already? You stupid fucks. You know?
You're not wrong. It's true. The build has been kind of crummy. It's true.
Well, it's stupid. It's so stupid. You go, God, this is just dumb
Mania
shit.
should have been at the beginning of the month.
Yeah. They waited too long for Mania. Between Rumble and Mania, it's just been like forever.
You know, it's funny, when SmackDown started, I had Rhea winning, much like Ray Cruz. But after SmackDown, when they had that segment together, I feel Bianca's going to win now.
Oh, yeah?
I feel she's more the focus, and I feel there's more of a story there with her afterwards, and maybe something with Naomi, maybe something with Jade.
Yeah.
Feels there's more you can do with Bianca, I think. So I think Bianca will win the title.
Yeah.
She's getting booed.
I think it's Bianca's turn, too. Yeah, she was getting booed tonight. It's interesting reactions for Bianca. But I think that Bianca's going to win the championship so that you could move Bianca over to Raw officially. I think I've been saying this for a little while. Like Io and Rhea.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like Io and Rhea, they're really the whole division over there on Raw. They need a little bit more. And I think if you add, I mean, they have Bayley, but Bayley's stuck in whatever she's doing. Bayley and Liv, you know, there's something there, but I think you need a little bit more. I think the SmackDown Women's division is pretty stacked. There's a lot of talent there. And you know, they could survive without Bianca, and then Bianca would be a huge addition to Raw, and then you could do several weeks, several months of Bianca and Rhea Ripley. There's so much there that you could get to. Yeah. It just seems like the obvious move. Bianca wins the championship, maybe pins Io, maybe pins Rhea. Doesn't really matter because there are many matches to make down the road with Io and Bianca and Rhea and Bayley and Liv. You know, there's just a lot of stuff for Bianca Belair to do, and it feels like she is the pick. She should win at WrestleMania. Open the show with a Bianca Belair title win. I think people will like that, but I think people would also like a Rhea Ripley title win. Like, people love Rhea Ripley, and they do like a nice pop, nice title change to start the show. They're gonna do it on night 1 with Jey Uso. They usually have parallels, you know. But I think Bianca, people are going to be excited enough. So I'm going with Bianca. Although I feel like Rhea is more over than Bianca, and that's why people are cheering for, or maybe booing Bianca and just cheering harder for Rhea because they see it. Like, Io's just there in the match, you know? Yeah. And it's very much a Rhea versus Bianca. Are you Team Rhea or are you Team Bianca? And people are choosing sides. And I think when Bianca's taking boos, it's less that we hate Bianca and more like we love Rhea so much and you're the enemy right now.
No, pretty much. I agree with you. But they could do this for a whole year practically, I think, Bianca and Rhea.
Yeah. They could do a Mania match against each other next year, possibly. Bianca, Rhea, Io. I'm going with Bianca, new champion. Johnny going with Bianca, new champion. Are you going to make it?
I think Io's going to win.
Oh, nice. Io retaining.
You know, she just retained. You know, she was getting some love tonight, too.
Yeah, I love Io.
Yeah, Io is just kind of solid. And I feel like she's not just in this match to be featured and have a spot on the card and have a good showing. I feel like they're gonna have her win this match over the two powerhouses will be too distracted from each other, and Io will just dive in there with a moonsault.
Yeah.
You know?
I could see that. Odds makers have this one pretty damn close. Bianca Belair minus 150, the slight favorite. Io Sky plus 100, Rhea Ripley plus 200. So it's really anybody's match, according to Vegas. Of course, this match happening in Vegas. There may be some shifty activity on the betting lines for this one. But Johnny and I both going with the favorite, interesting enough. You're going with Io retaining. I love Io. I think she's great. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending the Women's Tag Team Championship against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria in a match that is surprisingly on WrestleMania.
Well, they make Liv and Raquel somewhat of a decent deal, I think, on Raw. Like, you have to pay attention to them, so they got a spot. Women's tag titles, they try to make it important, so they have a spot. I think Bayley, it's good that Bayley gets on WrestleMania's capacity. I think
that's true.
Liv and Raquel are going to win, but they'll make the most of this match, I think.
Yeah, I think Liv and Raquel win. I think Bayley and Lyra wrestled each other too recently. I think there's going to be some sort of dissent. I don't think that their feud over the Intercontinental Championship is over. Bayley had that match. She didn't win. She didn't want to shake Lyra's hand, but then she did. I think there's going to be animosity there. I think they may fight at WrestleMania, or their losing this tag match will lead to them fighting in the future. I think they will continue to do something.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah,
I think Liv and Raquel will retain as well.
There you go. And they're big favorites, minus 450. So we're not wrong. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
It's a match already being described as on this Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. I've really grown tired of Logan Paul. Like, the whole thing, it's kind of like this act has worn out its welcome. It's just not, I don't know. For a while there, I was like, oh, this guy's hateable. I don't like him. And then now he comes out, and it's like, I don't like him, but it's different. It's like I'm kind of just bored of the act. He just says the same things, does the same things. You don't like me because I do everything better, and I'm better than you at everything, and you people are losers, and I'm great. Like, he's not a great wrestler, and he's not a great promo, and once you hear his promo 3 or 4 times, you realize it's the same promo every time, and he's just boring. He's not good at this. Like, he's athletic and he can do flips, but he's not good at being a pro wrestler, and they're letting this celebrity wrestler act like he's a real wrestler, and they're giving him so many matches, and we're supposed to care about them? I'm sorry, but I do not. I do not care about his matches. His whole act has grown very tired. He's jumped the shark in WWE. I don't want to see him anymore. I hope AJ beats him, but I don't think he will. I think Logan Paul's going to win because WWE is a shithole company run by shitheads, and Logan Paul is one of their shithead mascots.
Yeah, I agree completely with you. Like, I want AJ to win, but I think Logan Paul's probably going to win. They want to showcase him, and AJ's very good at showcasing people, so that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Logan's probably going to win, too.
Ugh.
I don't know what it's building to anymore.
Like, I don't like him, but I also don't want to see him. You know? It's not so much that I want to see him get beat. Like, if AJ Styles beats him, I won't be like, yes, that's great. I'll be like, okay, great. The match is over now. Could we get this guy off the screen and get to the next thing that I actually want to see? You know?
Yeah,
I just don't want to see Logan Paul at all.
It's like X-Pac. Same thing.
Yeah,
I love X-Pac.
It's go away heat. It is definitely, it's Miz heat. It's awful. He's the worst. Braun Breaker, he's good. I like him. He's going to wrestle Penta and Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. Like, I prefer Dominic Mysterio over Logan Paul. There's been some evolution to Dominic Mysterio's character. He's shown he can do different things, beat different people.
Good facial expressions.
There's way more range in Dominic Mysterio's character than there has been with Logan Paul.
I'm surprised how much I find Dominic acceptable.
He's growing on you, I think. He's funny. There's
like
something
the hair.
There's something funny about him. He's just so greasy. He's just so like that guy, and he just looks like that guy so much. It's just funny.
I wasn't a fan of the no-selling Mexican destroyers that they were doing with Penta and Dominic. I wasn't a fan of that, but character-wise, I'll agree with you. He's a lot better character-wise. Wrestling, like, he can bump okay. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, he's not a good wrestler, really. But he's a character, and he's definitely somebody that gets heat. I sound like Triple H talking about Donald Trump. Dominic's not that good, but he generates heat, and that's really what you're looking for. Sure, he tanked the economy, but Dominic Mysterio's got heat, brother.
In this business.
Oh, was I talking about Dominic or? Anyways,
can you believe I'm wearing a suit?
Intercontinental Championship on the line. Braun Breaker defending against Penta, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Fatal 4-Way. I'm expecting big things out of this match. This could steal the show, steal the weekend. I think this will be real good. This might be Penta winning, but for some reason, I feel like maybe Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, yeah?
Is that crazy?
I don't think it's crazy. I got Braun retaining, but it's not crazy, I don't think, to see something like that happen.
I think they just want to do a shocker, and I think Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental Championship in this match with Finn and Braun and Penta would be just like, what the hell? Yeah. And it would cause havoc in the Judgment Day. You know, there'd be big repercussions with Carlito and Liv Morgan and Finn and, you know?
Well, especially if Dom pins Finn to win the title.
Yeah. Right.
It's true.
Like, why are Dom and Finn both in this match? Okay, how about this, John? Odds for this match. Dominic Mysterio minus 250 the favorite to win.
Wow. Crazy.
Penta plus 150, Braun Breaker plus 250, Finn Balor plus 800. So I picked the favorite without even knowing it, and I'm going with Dirty Dom. I think Dirty Dom shocks the world, and maybe not the Vegas odds, apparently. I thought I was picking like a huge underdog. Turns out I'm picking the favorite. Oh, well. I've got Filthy Dominic to win this match, new Intercontinental Champion. What do you think? Agree, disagree? Have the odds swayed you?
I'm staying with Braun. I agree with Angelo.
I think Braun is also going to retain.
He's plus 250. Penta is more likely to win. Penta and Dom are more favored to win this than Braun Breaker is, which seems weird. I'm surprised by that.
I feel like it depends. Like, I'm going to say Braun retains, but like if Jey Uso wins, I could see Braun losing the title and becoming a challenger for his championship.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a feud that's gonna happen after Gunther.
Yeah.
But I still have Braun retaining. I don't know if he's gonna drop it just yet, because Gunther's probably gonna have a rematch and such.
That's a good point about Braun Breaker. If he drops the IC title, he can go over and face Jey Uso for the world title. Because there's a lot of talk already that like Gunther's taking time off after Mania, so Jey Uso's gonna need to wrestle somebody at Backlash. Didn't he lose the Intercontinental title to Braun Breaker?
He did, I think, yeah. And then won it back, didn't he?
Did he? I thought he lost it, won it, lost it again or something.
Something like that happened, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I got Dominic. You're going with Braun.
I'll still go with
Johnny's going with Braun. It would be so funny if Dominic won. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in the Sin City Street Fight. I've got no time for this at all. I don't want to see this.
You have to pick someone though.
Drew.
It's funny. Like I agree with you, but I really feel Damian Priest should win this one. I don't think Drew McIntyre needs to win this one whatsoever. He's already super over. I feel
that's
Damian
why he
Priest
should win.
Well, that's why he's going to win. But I think Damian Priest needs it to help get him over.
Nah, Damian Priest was given opportunities and he showed what he can do with them, and it was was what it was. Check his world title reign. Drew McIntyre has been way more fun in the last year than Damian Priest. I think this is a showcase match for Drew. I think in a street fight, it could be fun. It could be violent. And this is a Drew type of match. I think Drew wins this.
Drew is over. You'd be surprised in how many Reddit or Twitter threads that are unrelated to wrestling, and I'll see his face going, "I prayed for this to happen." Like, it's
interesting.
It's interesting how far that line has gone.
Drew's good. Drew's
and Drew, yeah, he's been consistently entertaining, and
he's improving. For
Priest
sure.
has been kind of a dud in the last year.
Oh yeah,
and last year it was Priest getting a pinfall on Drew was how he got the belt. Because Drew beat Seth, and then
Drew's revenge.
So
it's
Drew,
a Drew revenge.
should have revenge. I'm picking Drew.
Well, that's the main reason why I'm picking Drew. Yes.
Drew McIntyre, let's see, odds on Drew. Ooh, minus 1,000 the favorite. Biggest favorite on the card.
Yeah, the whole card. Yeah.
Damian Priest plus 500. Wow.
Well, there you go. Again, I think Priest should win, but he's not going to win.
Main event time. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes.
Wait a minute.
Cody Rhodes. Oh, wait. Randy Orton. Randy Orton open challenge. Who will Randy Orton face? The rumor I saw was Rusev. He signed a contract. He's coming back.
That was going to be my pick. Yeah, my pick was Rusev.
Now, if you're a WWE wrestler who's not at WrestleMania and you're mad about this, and then you see a guy who's been basically working for AEW but never on AEW, come back to the WWE, get a nice fat contract, his wife gets a contract too, and they come back and right away they get to work Randy at WrestleMania, I mean, don't you think that's going to get some heat for Rusev and for management from a lot of the guys that aren't on the show?
Didn't Cody Rhodes do the same thing?
Maybe. I think he's more liked.
Well, I mean, he earned it, and I think Rusev can earn it too. And I think Rusev's liked because he used to work there, so I think he'll be fine. And then, think about it. Who else could step up to the plate right now and be interesting?
Did anybody have a worse run in AEW coming from WWE than Rusev? I mean, there have been some guys that came over.
Run was that bad? He was TV champion.
Oh, it was pretty bad.
Wasn't great.
Just the whole thing about being about video games, him shouting "game over."
Good. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That was bad.
But when he became the TNT champion,
he had a bit of a run there for a few weeks.
Favorite wrestler thing.
Yeah, he had a bit of a thing, and then he just disappeared. He kept disappearing. That didn't help him. Aleister Black is supposed to come back. His AEW run was better than Rusev's. Not great, but better.
I think he's come back next week, right, on SmackDown?
Yeah. Who else? Keith Lee has not had a great AEW run, but I think a lot of that has been health related. He was tag team champion at one point.
He was, but yeah, very unfortunate with Keith Lee.
Andrade had a garbage AEW run. Oof.
I mean, he did beat Bryan Danielson. That was about it.
Yeah, we saw that.
But still, not a great run, right?
No, I would say Miro had a better run, I thought.
Yeah. Has Andrade, did he have the worst run of the back and forth guys?
I mean,
the back and forth boys. Rusev, Aleister Black, Andrade.
Good faction.
Probably.
The back and forth boys.
Yeah, I think he probably did, yeah.
Yeah, Andrade. And he's having a shit run here. So, Rusev here to wrestle Randy and what? Lose to Randy?
I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, he's not going to beat Randy. I mean, you could always throw in Goldberg, but I know you'd hate that.
Oh, my God.
Goldberg coming out just to lose to Randy would be kind of funny.
Oh, to lose to Randy, not beat Randy.
I
don't think he'd beat Randy?
Well, him beating Randy would be offensive. Although, funny.
It wouldn't work because, Goldberg would have to win. So
I don't think Randy would agree to that either.
Especially on short notice.
Yeah, I think Randy's winning whatever match he's in.
I mean, the best match would be against Sami Zayn. But I don't know if I can book him.
Nice.
Where the hell is Sami Zayn?
Taking time.
He was at the hockey game I was at.
Okay. Did he look injured?
Hey, he looked pretty happy, actually, because the Kings won.
So, what the hell is going on? Why isn't he at WrestleMania? He's one of the guys where I go, why isn't he booked at all? They've done so much with him. He's done so much for the company. Every little thing they give him, he does something with. Why is he not booked on the show? It's really weird.
I really think he was going to get involved in the Kevin and Randy match, but because Kevin got hurt, it's not going to happen. So maybe he will be the guy to come out.
Yeah, Sammy and Randy would make sense.
Yeah, Sammy would be cool.
I think it should be Sammy, but the rumors are Rusev. I would prefer Sammy. I hope it is Sammy. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena is the main event. I'm expecting lots of shenanigans. I'm expecting The Rock. I'm expecting Travis Scott. I'm expecting maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin to help Cody Rhodes. Maybe The Undertaker, because he just can't stay away. Yeah. But in the end, I think Cody's going to win. I think Cody beats Cena. I think Cody retains. Cena doesn't have to win. I think Cody will have backup. Cena will have his backup, but Cody will come ready. I think the match will be not great, but there's going to be a lot going on. It'll be exciting, but as far as like the actual wrestling, it won't be that great because Cena's body is just falling apart. And there's a reason why he's retiring at the end of this year is because he can barely wrestle anymore. So I think he loses. I think Cody wins. I think there's lots and lots and lots of interference. Is this bloodline rules? I know neither of these guys are in the bloodline, but it's technically, right now, it's a regular match with, disqualifications and all. But they could, announce during the match.
I could see that
no
happening.
DQ.
Someone does a run in. Michael's like, guys, remember, everybody, no disqualifications in this match.
Exactly.
It's like, what?
Well,
who knows?
You guys are half right because The Rock's going to come out at some point and say that,
no rules.
I'm the final boss.
I'm going to do whatever I want.
Well, I believe it's last year said I'll do whatever the F I want, if I'm not mistaken. That's what he said.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be lots of stuff, lots of shenanigans, lots of interference, and in the end, Cody Rhodes will retain. Cody Rhodes. What do you think? Cody Rhodes?
I have John Cena winning.
John Cena!
Wow.
John Cena, right now, is the favorite.
That's
John Cena, minus 200. Cody Rhodes, plus 150. Not a huge favorite, but still, Cena favorite, minus 200.
Well, I get that in a sense because Cody has left Cena lane twice, and Cena never did that. However, like I just don't see Cena winning because you just kind of talked about how the shenanigan of run-ins is going to happen, and that'll end up in Cody's favor. It'll be a lot like what happened last year, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Lots of shenanigans, lots of run-ins. In the end, Cody on top as the champion. I think that's where it should go too. I think Cody should win this match. He is he's the current top star. He should beat John Cena. That should be on his resume. Cena's not going to be there consistently. Cody is. Cody should win. And that's WrestleMania. And we'll be here tomorrow night after WrestleMania, night 1, to recap all the action. And we'll be here again on WrestleMania night 2, right after everything, to give you the review and the recap of everything that happens at WrestleMania. I do want to talk a little bit about AEW, John, because they had a very good episode of Dynamite this week. Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita had a kick-ass match that Ospreay won to advance in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. He'll face Kyle Fletcher in the semifinals. Mercedes Moné and Athena had a great match as well. That match was very, very good, with Mercedes getting the win, and she advances in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. And then we saw Toni Storm in the audience watching on as Mercedes celebrated her victory, foreshadowing what could be a huge match in professional wrestling. Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné at AEW All In for all the gold, sucker.
How's that build going to go? What are those promos going to be like?
Oh, my God. Can you imagine? I mean, they're both so great.
She calls her money, doesn't she? Tony?
Something.
It's like Mercedes money.
Mm-hmm. Miss
You don't
Money.
scare me.
Miss Money. I mean, it's such a huge match, and the fact that AEW is going towards it and not hiding from it, not avoiding it, not keeping them separate is great. It really is the irresistible force meets the immovable object when Toni Storm takes on Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, and it's the first time they're ever doing, and we're jumping ahead here, but potentially doing the AEW Women's World Champion versus the TBS Champion. That's never happened before.
Yeah. But I think only the World Championship will be on the line because that's what you get when you win the Owen. Unless they do it for all the gold.
What the gold,
no,
sucker?
But I don't think so. And although Mercedes has like most of the gold because she has there's 3 other belts besides the TBS title. So yes, a lot of gold, and she could add more. But she has to first get through. It's either Jamie Hayter or Chris Statlander who wrestle next week on Dynamite in the semifinals.
Yeah, but I think she has to, right?
I think it's going to be her and Hayter, I think, at Double or Nothing in the finals.
Okay. But Mercedes has to win in the end.
I mean, it just makes the most sense, right? Like, I like Jamie Hayter. I think Jamie Hayter is very good, but she isn't positioned the same way they position Mercedes. Not even close.
No. Mercedes versus Toni Storm is the mega match that we need to see. Mercedes versus Athena I thought was really good. I love that spot what they did with the tie-up where they rolled out of the ring and kept kind of the collar elbow push and, all the way walking up the ramp to the stage. I thought that was really good.
I like the jump off the barricade and then drop kick her in the barricade, and then the barricade was broken afterwards with the LED screen. I like that spot. That was pretty good.
That match was very good. Really good stuff. I know you were very excited to see that one and surprised that it was happening so early in the tournament, but it was just a great match on a great episode of Dynamite. They went hard. This was the Dynamite that broke the record. There's now more episodes of AEW Dynamite than there have been episodes of WCW Nitro.
That's crazy to think
So
about.
they beat Nitro. More Dynamites than Nitros, which seems wrong. Feels like Nitro was on for 10 years, but it wasn't.
The thing was because the first show was WCW Saturday Night.
Yeah.
And then Nitro took over as the flagship, though they still kept going with Saturday Night. So I don't think they've passed Saturday Night. I think, no doubt Saturday Night is still the longest running Turner Wrestling show, but Nitro was the biggest show ever WCW ever did. So that's a major accomplishment for that. Because Nitro, you all remember Nitro more than you remember Saturday Night.
Yeah. Saturday Night was like and worldwide they
it was
were
a jobber show.
It's a jobber show, yeah. Like maybe Macho Man would show up once every 6 months or something
to beat up a jobber.
Yeah, but like it was
Nitro was the real show. That was
Disco
their Raw.
Inferno and Hugh Morris and
yeah
Glacier maybe.
I like Saturday Night though. It was fun.
Yeah, I liked Worldwide.
Great cruiserweight matches.
I like those WCW secondary shows. They were always really good.
Filmed at the Disney MGM Studios.
That's right. But still, huge episode for Dynamite. The fact that there's more episodes of Dynamite than Nitro now in wrestling history was huge. They made a big deal out of it. The show was in Boston, too, so the crowd very much behind Mercedes Moné. That's where she's from. That match was great. Will Ospreay and Takeshita was fantastic. Hangman Page wrestled Josh Alexander in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Josh Alexander making his AEW debut, now signed to AEW Wrestling. And he was the mystery opponent for Hangman. They had a really good match. Hangman won. Hangman advances in the tournament.
It's true, Jason. It's factual.
Yes,
it is. He's not making that up.
It seems not true. Like when I saw it, I was like, really? And then, yeah, it's true. This was their record-breaking show. This week's episode of Dynamite, more episodes of Dynamite than Nitro. And Ray Cruz asking about Thursday Thunder. Yeah, I mean,
there's very little Thunder.
Yeah, not many Thunders. I mean, Dynamite, definitely more Dynamites than Thunders. There may have been more collisions than Thunders at this point.
It's only Saturday Night there was more of. That's about it.
Yeah. Which is nuts, because WCW felt like a long time, but it was only like 3-4 years where they had like real things going on.
The 90s were great for that. That's for sure.
The 90s were great for many reasons, John. Yeah. Hangman Page advancing in the... He will face...
Well, I want to say I think he faces Kyle Fletcher in the semifinals.
No, Ospreay is facing Kyle Fletcher, isn't he?
No, he's in the finals already.
What? Takeshita finals. Ospreay. Okay. I had that wrong. I thought Ospreay still had to wrestle Fletcher again. He does not.
No, because that was a first round match for Hangman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the Young Bucks says that they helped Hangman. They're doing it for Hangman. They want to be friends with Hangman. Hangman doesn't seem to want to be friends with him.
Well, because the Bucks are heels and Hangman's a face, so kind of keeping that distinct from each other. And
right.
The Bucks are trying to suck up to the Death Riders. That's not working out too well for them.
Yeah. So there's that drama going on with the Bucks and Hangman, and Okada called Hangman a bitch.
But then he said he didn't say that.
Yeah, he said he didn't.
Just said that. Smile.
Yeah, smile. Why are you not smiling? Hurt Syndicate defended their tag titles against the Gates of Agony in, a match that was just kind of there.
It was more the aftermath afterwards. That was the more exciting part.
With MJF making a pitch to the Hurt Syndicate, still trying to get Bobby Lashley to agree to let him join the team. MVP is into it. Shelton seems into it, but Bobby's still denying. And MJF coming out and saying he can bring a lot of talent to the group. And then calls out several ladies, many ladies, and offers them to the Hurt Syndicate in a business deal, almost Vince McMahon-like.
Godfather.
Yeah, it was very Godfather-ish, very Vince-ish, just saying, here are some women that I have bought or I own in some way. I don't know, using them as some sort of transaction and giving them to the Hurt Syndicate. They took the women and decided to go out and party, whatever that meant. Yeah. I mean, you can only imagine, with like 9 or 10 women and 3 men, 3 large men. They all left together. They accepted the offering of MJF. Shelton still not sold on MJF being in the group, though. MVP trying to convince Bobby Lashley, saying, "Look, get him on our team. Once he gets us to where we need to go, he can help us business-wise or whatever." I'm not sure what that means. They're already tag team champions. How far can they really go? But, MVP is convinced that MJF is the ticket to help the Hurt Syndicate do something. Not sure what. And he tells Bobby Lashley that the minute he steps out of line, he can, and Bobby Lashley's like, hurt him, because that's the whole gimmick. They hurt people, get it? So Bobby wants to hurt MJF, and MVP's like, yeah, but like, let's wait until he does something really crazy, and then we'll get rid of him. Because look at all these ladies he gave us for the night. Are they? I mean, you would assume they're ladies of the evening that have been purchased and whatever. It's a
Friends of the road, bud.
Friends of the road. Semi-legal transaction, I suppose. I don't know
hot
what's going on.
Hamburg sandwiches.
But that was a weird segment there from the Hurt Syndicate and MJF. Just offering humans to Bobby and the boys, trying to gain their favor and allow him into this Hurt Syndicate group.
I mean, it's very much... This is adult wrestling. I don't know how much your son is watching this, but
he's not.
Okay, good.
We don't let him. I don't let him watch AEW really.
I mean, that's all you can explain. Is like we're going back to the Attitude Era with this kind of stuff. Where it's like, well, back and
MJF pimp.
Call them human traffickers these days.
Yeah, that's kind of like a sort of hot topic. Kind of
it's not
thing.
good. Look,
I would say greasy, and I think Ben last week would say a little sweaty, possibly.
A little sweaty, yeah.
Greasy. Yeah. So that happened with MJF. So the ongoing saga continues of MJF trying to join up with Bobby Lashley and Shelton and
with sexy results
and MVP and trying to entice them with sexy ladies. Which it's funny they accepted the ladies,
yeah,
but still were like, no, MJF, we're not cool with you still.
Well, because Shelton was kind of like going like up.
He was gonna do a thumbs down, thumbs up, but then he looked at Bobby, and Bobby was like, "No." So Shelton's like, "Oh, thumbs down." But then he's like, "Well, come, ladies, let's go hang out." And MJF is there by himself. That seems rude. You should at least invite MJF. I mean, you would assume MJF has paid for the whole evening. You know what I mean? Like, you would think MJF has paid for all of these ladies. They seem like it's like a lot of ladies.
Yeah.
And you're paying for them for the whole evening, I would suppose, because like, let's go have a party, ladies. I mean, that's several hours. You would assume MJF is paying several I don't know, many dollars, hundreds or thousands of dollars.
Some party favors too, ain't cheap.
I mean, there's like 10 ladies there for 3 men, and MJF is not even going with them. He's paying for all this, unless they're doing it for him because he is some sort of human trafficker.
Yeah, is MJF like?
Is MJF like the
gimmick?
ringmaster? Like he does? He's maybe he sends them with. Maybe MJF like he runs an escort service, right? And then these are his ladies, and that work for him in this escort service. And then he brought them to the Hurt Syndicate. And they are going to go out with them, and they're going to get paid.
Get some information.
I think Bobby and MVP and Shelton maybe don't realize that this isn't a gift. This is a working arrangement. They have to pay these ladies, and in the end, these ladies have to give a percentage to their boss, MJF. I'm not really sure what the explanation was. I'm trying to make sense of it all.
I think you put more thought into it than they did. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I think that when you do something like this on TV, you should put some thought into it. And maybe that's the point, is that maybe doing this on TV should be thought about a little bit more and what it means and what the hell's going on here. Where did these ladies come from? Why is MJF with all these women?
Why are they so game to party with the,
why do they all want to have sex with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP? What's that about? And also, maybe don't do it. Maybe don't do it at all. Maybe find another way for MJF to gain favor with these guys.
It would be funny if MJF baked them a pie.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, have a piece of my pie.
That'd be weird, though.
But it'd be a little, like, different. I'd accept it more.
It's going to be weird because to join this group and they don't want when they say then all of a sudden like they obviously still not going to like him.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be a part of this group?
Well, let's remember the last time he was trying to join a group. I think it was the Inner Circle, right? He was trying to join, then finally joined, and then he turned on them the second he joined them. So I can see that happen too.
I guess. Yes, he did desperately. Yeah, he's tried to do this before, hasn't he? Okay. And then the main event, it was the Death Riders versus the Ops, and we had some replacement wrestlers in this match because it was for the Trios Championship, and they had to get this match done. Hook got hurt last week, obviously concussed, threw up in the ring, so he didn't wrestle this week. Will Hobbs replaced him in the Ops with Samoa Joe, and
it's a better team, actually, with Hobbs, I find.
What the hell is that Japanese dude's name? I'm
Shibata.
Shibata. Thank you. It's late. So Shibata, Joe, and Hobbs wind up winning. John Moxley replaced Pac, who wasn't there because, I don't know, he's in England again. Pac's never
I thought he got hurt again.
No, he got hurt, remember?
I thought Pac
Against
got hurt.
Swerve.
Oh, yeah, he did get hurt.
He's hurt.
Oh, well.
Like, it was like Jericho almost, but it wasn't like that. Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. He's hurt. Anyways, so Pac is not around, so they had to get the trios titles off of them, I guess, and then they gave it to a team who also have a hurt member.
Yeah.
I think it's better with Hobbs, though. Hobbs is very impressive, and like I thought he looked pretty good in that match, actually.
Yeah, the match was all right, too. And in the end, it was Samoa Joe choking out John Moxley to get the win, to win the Trios Championships for the Ops. So Joe, Shibata, and Hobbs, the new AEW Trios Champions, and also Joe choked out John Moxley, the current AEW Champion, and it appears as though on Collision they set up a match, Joe versus Moxley for Double or Nothing for the title. Moxley wants revenge on Joe for choking him out.
Well, Moxley said, like, on Collision that, like, ever since he started, like, Samoa Joe was the guy in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy you looked up to, and now he's the guy he's got to take out. So that's what he wants to do, I think. And more than likely, Double or Nothing, that's what's going to happen, I think. I think what all trios champions, I think Joe might give his up trios champion, and Joe will try for the singles title, I think.
Interesting. So AEW Double or Nothing is their next big show, May 25th in Arizona. Mercedes Moné will take on either Chris Statlander or Jamie Hayter in the Owen Hart Cup tournament final, and Will Ospreay will take on either Hangman or Kyle Fletcher. I think Hangman Ospreay, my God, for a shot at the title at All In, that would be massive.
I mean, another match with Fletcher isn't bad too, but yeah, I expect the Hangman match because we haven't seen that yet.
Mm-hmm. Really good episode of Dynamite this week. Like, really good. The best wrestling TV show I saw this week.
Well, they focus more on wrestling. Like, with WWE, it's the last thing they kind of focus on whatsoever. And I feel like in terms of good matches, they're saving that for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't really showing that on television so much this week.
Well, WrestleMania better be fucking amazing then.
Yeah, WrestleMania better be goddamn good because the build to it has been super boring. It's been super bland. They have done absolutely nothing. You put it best to me in a text, John, when you said it felt like we've been on pause since Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
They haven't done shit since the Chamber.
And I go back to what I've said earlier in the show. I blame a lot of that on that European tour. I don't blame the fans so much, just the fact that when they go on tour, WWE kind of goes on pause in terms of giving us good television. They just kind of soak in the moment, and that's it. And that was like a month of that, so that was a huge problem. But I think WrestleMania, they're going to deliver, I think.
I hope so. I mean, they usually do. It's WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year, and it's all wrestling matches. You know, it's not story. It's like, this is the conclusion. This is the end. This is the season finale. And the performers are going to deliver because it's their biggest show of the year. It's when the most eyeballs are on them. The wrestlers are going to deliver because that's what they do. They're talented. They're all very good. They're there for a reason. They're gonna do their very best. They're gonna go all out for WrestleMania. You know, the Raw after Mania, we'll see. You know, the creative direction, all of that, we'll see.
Don't know.
But this is the season finale for WWE. This is where everything kind of ends, and it'll begin again on Monday. It's usually fun at the end. They save things for the end. They save the big twists and turns and title changes for the end. So I'm expecting it to be a fun weekend as WrestleMania. Why wouldn't it be? WrestleMania Night 1 tomorrow night. WrestleMania Night 2 on Sunday. We'll be on after both nights. Stay with us here. We got so much pro wrestling coverage to get to this weekend. You know, WrestleMania. We've been watching this thing forever.
Yeah.
So,
This
can't
is
believe it's 41.
I've missed a couple.
Yeah, I've pretty much been watching all of them live since like 14.
Yeah, the only ones I missed 17. I remember we didn't get that on pay-per-view or something.
Something went wrong.
And I was out of the country. I wasn't around for 26, the last Shawn Michaels match.
Yeah, I pretty much catch them all because
every other one I've seen.
WrestleMania.
Since 14.
Yeah, since about WrestleMania 14, I think I haven't missed a single one. That was the beginning of the Austin era, and it changed wrestling forever, brother.
The Fleet Center in Boston.
Yeah. And before that, I mean, I watched them, but I think I saw them after the fact because it wasn't always available, and videotape, VHS rentals, and so on.
Maybe we watched some Scrambled?
I was a child. There was some Scrambled action going on as well. You know,
Scrambled.
A lot of those
people will never know what it was like to watch it Scrambled.
No, now they got just illegal streams. You know, illegal streams are the new Scrambled. We didn't have internet back then, so we watched it on the Scrambled pay-per-view channel. You know, once in a while you could kind of make out what was going on.
It's like, oh, that's Brett's face.
And like once every 5 years, they would forget to unscramble, and you'd be like, holy shit, I'm getting this for free.
Yeah.
And then like after 20 minutes, they would be like, oh shit, and they'd press the button and scramble again, and you wouldn't have
the audio was clear at least.
The audio was always there. You could hear every pay-per-view. You just couldn't really see what was going on. It was fun.
All the good old days.
You remember that, John? You did that. Who didn't do that? We all did that.
No,
it's expensive.
Mine was different because I had a friend like who had a huge like satellite in his backyard.
Country people.
Yeah, exactly.
Country people. Well, we were watching them scrambled, brother. We just, had it on in the background and we listened to it like it was radio.
Yeah. I think I was watching way too close to the screen for
Yeah,
scrambled.
trying to figure out
make
what's
it
going
out.
on. Like, what is happening?
I remember watching the SummerSlam '97 main event.
Yes.
Taker and Brett. I remember watching that scramble and then just hearing ding ding ding. Here's your winner and new champion, Bret Hart. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on because of that crazy finish, and then I was like, oh, Bret wins.
That scrambled channel really was the internet before the internet, because that's how you would kind of steal the pay-per-view, and that's how you would also watch porn.
Yeah, scrambled.
Because there was like
it's just noise, really, at that point.
Yeah, but you could kind of tell what was going on. You weren't quite sure. And especially when you're like young as hell, you're like, I don't even know what sex is, but it sounds like sexy sound, so I like it for some reason that I can't quite understand. It's pretty good. That was the internet before the internet. Scrambled pay-per-view.
Viewer's choice.
Yep, exactly. All right. Thank God we have the internet now, because we can watch all these shows, and it's all on Netflix, and it's, $7 a month or $9 or whatever they're charging me. Those bastards. But, you're paying for it, and everything's on the internet.
Yeah,
even
everything is on the internet.
I don't know if you knew that, but there's a lot of pornography on the internet.
Of any
tons.
kind you would imagine.
It's unbelievable. It's almost like the internet was created for it. And many of the internet's innovations have been created for it.
Yeah.
And we've all benefited in other ways because it drives the internet. I think, what is it, like, I don't know.
All the top traffic sites.
Well, like the internet.
Most of them are pretty much.
Most of internet traffic is porn, and then there's like, it's like you look at the top internet traffic, and it's like 70% that, and then it's everything else.
A lot of it based in Montreal.
Which is nuts, because then you see like YouTube people that have like 1 billion views, and you're like, okay, well, if 1 billion people are watching this, and that's not that much of the internet, then how much people are watching? Oh my God, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyways, that's my talk on the internet tonight, John. What do you think? Good, pretty good, right? You like it?
I have a question for you.
Oh,
did you catch?
Here we go.
Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh God, I don't want to do that. I'm wrapping up the show, John. Can we not? Do we have to do that now?
We don't have to. I just want to know if you caught it. We'll talk about it at some point.
I watched
don't talk
it.
about it now.
I forget who it was about. Was it Vader this week?
It was Tony Atlas this week.
Oh yeah, Vader was last week. Tony Atlas was
like we
this
don't
week.
know he's weirdo.
Yeah, he's had some problems.
Well, I wrestled Tony, so like it was just kind of neat to see him in that light like that.
Yeah, he's had an interesting life.
Yeah.
Well, when I wrestled him in 2014, the whole like foot fetish thing, that wasn't a big thing, a part of his act and all that. Now it's a big thing.
I think it's always been a part of his act. Well, now it's more public, but
yeah, now
it's always been part.
It
of
was on Legends House, I think that came out.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. There's his wife who had the stroke that he's taking care of in the hospital. It's very sad. All the racism he had to deal with in wrestling. It was an interesting story. Tony Atlas has been around. He's seen a lot of things. He's done a lot of things. Lots of heat with Rocky Johnson. You can understand why. What was going on there? I mean, back then, promotions, they'd have one black wrestler per territory. So when Rocky Johnson, the older black wrestler, saw Tony Atlas come in, younger, bigger, getting over, he was not so nice to Tony Atlas because he feared for his job. Because they had to do that back then. If you were a black wrestler and you saw another black wrestler come into the territory, as Tony Atlas said, they were your enemy. They were not your friend. They were your enemy because they were your competition. Because there was only room in the territory for one guy, which is awful.
Yeah,
but that's how it was.
His gimmick would be.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's how it was. Yeah. And I didn't realize that Rocky and Tony hated each other so much.
Weren't they tag partners?
Yeah, but they fought each other like they. I didn't realize they like got physically. I knew that they were maybe not like the best of friends and didn't have a long run. The WWE likes to promote them as the first black champions in WWE, but their run was like maybe 5-6 months, and they didn't do much with them, as Tony talked about in that Dark Side of the Ring. But I didn't realize like they really didn't like each other, like they fought each other a lot consistently. I just thought they didn't have much of a bond because it was like a short thing, but it was like, no, there was heat. So that was interesting. I didn't know about that. It was a fun watch. I like Dark Side of the Ring, but yeah, I guess Tony Atlas has had some dark stories. There were some dark stories. There was a car crash in there. There was Dick Murdoch giving him a flyer to go to the KKK rally, and then he went with another wrestler. What was that guy's name? White guy he was with.
Blonde hair. Yeah.
Blonde hair guy.
Blanco.
Yeah, you're blanking
on what the name was.
You're supposed to help me when I blank.
Dick Murdoch's tag partner.
No. It wasn't. But anyways, everybody talks about Dick Murdoch being this like great guy. He sent Tony Atlas to like this KKK party, this flyer that Tony Atlas didn't read because he's dyslexic and can barely read and had brain damage from somebody pushing him when he was a kid. And Dick Murdoch just sent him to this thing, and Tony Atlas, like, Dick Murdoch was in the KKK. He had the hood and everything, and I was like, oh, shit. And people say all this nice stuff about Dick Murdoch in pro wrestling. People talk about Dick Murdoch in these glowing terms. Dusty Rhodes' tag team partner. Oh, Dick Murdoch and Dusty Rhodes. They did it's like Dick Murdoch was in the KKK, so, you know. And there's all these wrestlers still today that talk really nicely about Dick Murdoch, and you wonder, what are their politics, brother? Who do they support, brother? Oh, you know, Dick Murdoch was just charismatic, you know? He just had this, you know, sometimes you gotta hate people, but that's okay.
If people hate you, then it's all right. Then.
Yeah. It's okay to be a heel in real life. That's just being a heel. That's not called being a total fucking asshole.
And then you don't get your comeuppance. And...
Yeah. Dick Murdoch was in the KKK, Triple H. How do you feel about that? What a heel. Got so much heat for that. You know, if he did that today, it'd be crazy heat. It's like, yeah, no shit. What do you think about Kanye West? Look at the heat, brother. Holy shit. That Hitler got a lot of heat.
Yeah,
that's scorching heat. He still gets heat to this day.
It's one of the ways that like looking at real life as wrestling can kind of backfire.
Yeah, I know.
If you're just like,
I've known some people like
getting
that.
Heat. It's
I've known people like that act like that, and they just think that like, ooh, I'm just getting heat. I'm just a heel. It's like, no, you're not in wrestling right now. You're just being an asshole. You're just a shitty human, and you're like, oh, I'm a heel. I'm just a heel. Yeah. No, you're stupid. You think about wrestling way too much. And you're a dickhead. You've met these people, and you go, what is going on with you? Why would you say that? Oh, heel behavior.
You're mad, aren't you? So there.
Oh, what are you, mad? Yes, I'm mad. You just said some inflammatory shit. Of course I'm mad. And now I'm going to choke you unconscious. What are you talking about? You know, it's like, fucking, oh, you mad? Yes, I'm mad. You just said some dumb shit. I'm going to hurt you now. You're going to be mad when you wake up. Realize you pissed yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn. Some of these people out there think wrestling is real and heat, and they can act like assholes in public, and it's just getting heat, brother. Fucking stupid. Okay, John, that's enough. I'm getting angry now. Getting upset.
Sorry.
Dave's getting upset.
We talked about that, though.
Serenity now.
Serenity now. Serenity later.
It's right now. Insanity later. Lloyd Braun, he knows.
Wise words from Lloyd Braun. What do you know? You were in the nut house. What do you think got me there?
Yeah.
Serenity now. I like when Kramer's there at the kids got him. Serenity now.
How about Serenity now? Serenity now!
All right.
Try Hoochie Mama instead.
Hoochie Mama. All right. Hachi Machi. We'll see you tomorrow night, right after WrestleMania Night 1, right here on the Ringside Report Network. Thank you. We love you.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringside.